and it's good news. How loyal is your partner? And I'm not talking partner, and I'm not talking about the husbands today. I'm talking about your wife. How loyal is your wife? In a scale of 1 to 10, how loyal is your wife? Can you vouch? Can you sit down and say, mimi bibi yangu 10 over 10 anakuanga loyal, tuambieni by the 111, 444. Now, according to Positive Image Africa, it says that actually Kenya has been ranked as the second after Ethiopia as the country with the most loyal wives in Africa. Okay,
I hope they've excluded Nairobi in that.
Hiyo ndio shida. Ni Kenya, hawajatoa Nairobi. So anyway, it's just crazy. The first, do you know, number 1 ya kina nani? Nimesema ni Ethiopia. Sisi tuko number 2. Unajua kuna country ngapi Africa?
I hope you know.
Positive Africa. But now the comment section sent me sijui wapi huko. Let me tell you, Bien ako pale akasema, DJ nichezee Nairobi ya Ben Soul, okay? Bro. Wewe comedian akasema loyal wives but before they settle. Okay, so many people wako na jokes mingi sana wakisema hapa nimekataa, labda hao foreigners ndio wako loyal. That's another one. Mwingine akasema kwani tuko nchi gani? And that we are
me, let me tell you, I'm not even like to you. They probably did the mashinani. Hiyo ni statistics.
Kanairo is not part of Kenya.
Is outside.
Umesema Kanairo si Kenya.
Ni capital city.
It's a country of its own. It's a.
But I'm like, who did that? Like nani alifanya?
Yeah, who did the study?
I think ni kama vile tunakwanga na Ipsos, you know, like those people.
Wajasema ni nani wameifanya?
Positive Africa.
But let me tell you something.
Or maybe they're just being positive.
They are not counting Nairobi. Let's be honest. They're not counting Nairobi.
You know, I don't want to say that we don't have loyal people, but I believe loyalty is a choice made. Exactly. And I don't think you can say like a particular country has loyal wives. Like, who told you? You know, people can be, you know, undercover players in the relationship. So I don't like.
I think we should throw it to the ground.
Yeah, like
over to you guys, not in studio. Over to you kwa ground.
Kwa ground.
Tuambie countries zingine zote wamekosa.
Me, I can already give you like 10 stories off the top of my head, bro. They are not counting Nairobi. Let's just be honest.
So you're telling,
of course, loyal. They're loyal
and
people.
Others who are loyal, but they've been made players because of, you know, they have been played, you know, when you play a loyal person, they start becoming players.
Yeah, but they should become a better person instead of becoming character development.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, they are not counting
Nairobi. So you're telling your Nairobi audience that they're not part of this statistic.
Bro, do you know how many topics I've had on my Insta stories about relationships? Yeah. The stories people are telling me.
Crazy stuff.
I'm like, I can't believe it. I don't believe it. Anyway, let me take you to the next story.
But it could be true, you know. It could. We could be surprised. Kanairo, when you're
Mashinani labda, Mashinani, that one I can vouch for, you know, because that's where our grandmothers and people are. Anyway, let me take you to our next story, which is it's very interesting. And I think it's very brave of Will Smith to come out and say this, because men are not one to admit, you know, when their egos were, bruised. You know, bruised. So he went on to say, I feel like he's talked about this whole Tupac and Jada situation before. So for those of you who don't know, Tupac Shakur, yes, the one, Tupac Shakur and Jada Pinkett Smith were friends when they met in the Baltimore School of the Arts in the 1980s, which this is when they were like teenagers, young adults, right? And of course, this is around the same time that Will Smith came into Jada's life. So he went on to say that he had, let me read exactly what he said. This is a quote. I suffered raging jealousy for Tupac, right? So he went on to explain it this way. Though they were never intimate, their love for each other is legendary. They definitely were they were definitely the definition of ride or die. In the beginning of our relationship, my mind was tortured by their connection. He was Pac and I was me. And then he also added, Tupac had a fearless passion that was intoxicating, a militant morality, and a willingness to fight and die for what he believed was right. Pac was like Harry, who is Smith's younger brother. He triggered the perception of myself as a coward. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that. He also said, if she chose me over Tupac, there was no way I could be a coward. Oh yeah, first, before he said that, he noted that, you know, whenever she picked whenever Jada picked him over Tupac, that was like a victory for him, right? If she chose me over Tupac, there was no way I could be a coward. I have rarely felt more validated. I was in a room with Tupac on multiple occasions, but I never spoke to him. The way Jada loved Tupac rendered me incapable of being friends with him. I was too immature.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Jada wishes Tupac was here. I wish Tupac was here.
Everyone wishes Tupac
you know,
was here,
like
bro.
Tupac was such a legend, but still, they were like best friends. It was nothing really, okay, if it was, we
But
have
most men are intimidated by that because they know their own behaviors. That's the only reason men are intimidated by a woman having a male friend who is close. Yeah. Just be honest with yourself. Juu anajua mimi nikipata chance mimi nitachukua. They know. That's why they don't like it.
Yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day, I just bringing it back home, as in najua kuna vijana wengi wenye kidogo ukiangalia mfuko yako inakufanya una feel like say itakuwa ni si story ya musical things and all of that, but sometimes you look at wale machali wameomoka team wash of course wanawafanya mnakuwa na pressure, you cannot breathe, you get, because you feel like you're very inferior compared to this other person because they have something that you don't have. But at the end of the day, I believe that if you're trying to choose someone to be with, look at the character that person has, because you can have all the money but you can't buy kindness, you can't buy love, you can't buy happiness. What's the point of being somewhere where you have everything? Like nikisema snap naweza tokea ni wapi sijatoka Kenya, lakini yes, story for another day. Nikisnap hivi najipata nimeenda sijui country gani, nimetokelezea wapi, yet I'm just miserable. The only happiness you see is what I share on social media, because I'm trying to hide the reality of the situation. Vitu kwa ground. So at the end of the day, money is not everything. You'll be so surprised. You'll find women who'll choose you with the little yenye uko nayo, lakini they'd rather go with amani kuliko kwenda na hizi vitu zingine. So you never feel inferior because of,
Yeah, and I think this just goes to show that every time anyone in a relationship has insecurities, be it the guy or be it the girl, it's them who have the problem. Because if someone is being openly transparent with you about their friend, you even hang out together, they make sure you're in situations where you guys meet and you talk and you're still insecure, when duko na shida. Unajua, if it was the other way around, you'd probably be doing some funny stuff with your friend from the opposite sex. So let me tell you something, ladies out there, if there's one thing no man is ever going to come in the middle of, is my friendship with my close male friends. Iyo, afadhali utoke, by the way.
Ondoka.
Because I'm very transparent when it comes to that. You'll even meet, there's a guy who told me a few years ago, if you have a male friend, make sure he meets your boyfriend. I don't know for what reason, but it works. Just make sure they meet,
but
they
imagine
talk.
even that some, kwani hao wako wana meet na unasikia bado wana feel a certain way. I think it's basically men just projecting
their insecurities.
All these insecurities. But you guys let us know. Me sijui who's been asking Jada and Will Smith questions. You guys need to stop, because it's
a bit much.
Anyway, guys, 444 is the SMS line, but we gotta move to the next segment of the show. It's time for health sport. Learning.
Family sport.
Family sport. It's family sport, guys.